Okay, so welcome back to my video series of Paititi Explained. This is part 2, and in this part I'm actually going to show the evidence from the past. There's only been a few examples of diagrams and maps of Paititi. So what I'll do is I'll just go in and show you first where I'm looking. Now, if I just stop it there, if you can just see I'm looking directly east. The Rio Timpia comes in just here. And it sort of meanders around this section here. There it is. As you can see, it's not navigable. There's plenty of rocks, white water, large boulders. Okay, so obviously a canoe or any type of motorised boat will have real issues trying to get to this location. Now, when I first zoomed in here, I was just trying to get a vantage point here, just looking back over. Now, there was a map drawn of Paititi. When that was actually drawn, we don't know. It was from the Jesuit Andres Lopez. I sometimes call him Andre Lopez, Father Lopez. So if I go between the different names, I'm referring to him. I've got a feeling he was sitting somewhere around here, maybe on this mountaintop. It's one of the highest in the Megantoni. And looking directly east, you can see this valley over here. If I just move it across a little bit more, you can see that Timpia becomes slightly hidden behind these mountain peaks here. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring up something else. Alright, so this is either the original or based on the original map of Paititi, and as you can see at the top here, it actually mentions it. The Kingdom of Paititi. I'm not going to go into all the details of the history of it. You can find that on other sites on the internet. But as you can see, it's quite detailed, but very hard to make out. So I'll actually show you another version, which is a more friendly user version of what's actually going on in this map. So as you can see, it's difficult to make out. There's a male and probably female, a little lamb. You got a river here. There's an island there. There's a mountain here. As you can see, there's other creatures. Is this a puma with condor wings? Is it a condor? Is it an amaru? It's a bit difficult to tell. That, I've got no idea what that is. This appears to be a llama geoglyph. This, I think, is the city, and I'll explain my reasons for that in a minute. This part on the right-hand side here, this sort of reverse S-type shape, On the original, it's actually shown as a moon. So it could be the Temple of the Moon, and I'll show you some buildings up there that I think, and some ruins that I think could have been the Temple of the Moon. Here I think is the Temple of the Sun. I debated a little while about this one because there is some features up there that resemble a sun, and there's also a feature that resembles a sun gate. But I'm thinking it refers to the Temple of the Sun, which is near a lake in the same vicinity. As you can see, there's a river that runs straight down the valley down the middle. This says Ava, which usually refers to some sort of flying bird. And I'll show you what I think that is as well. Okay, so we'll just go back to something I've prepared earlier. From the view that I showed you before, this is very similar to this, as you can see. Okay. So down the bottom here, we've got the mountain. This is the square mountain. Some explorers are looking here for Paititi. They think it's on there. Okay. As you can see, here it is here. There's a river running down this side and a river coming in here. I haven't quite coloured this bit in here, but that's actually a river going down there, and there's a river going down here. Now, the islands in the river, there's quite a few. There probably isn't anything as large as what I can see here, but over 400 or 500 years, I can imagine the river changes quite a fair bit, and islands come and go in rivers. So I'm assuming that was referred to one of those. Okay, so further up here, that was the geoglyph I showed in part 1 of the Inca warrior, little lamb, and possibly his wife. So that there. Okay. Now, over here, I believe this is the city area of the whole site. Okay, and I'll go into more detail about this site in other videos. And as you can see here, here's the cave. And the river going up here. Again, that's this section here. Okay, the valley goes along, starting here. This is sort of the northern end of this little stream. And it starts up here in this lake on the southern end. And as I go back here, this is it going along. And as you can see, there is a lake up there. I'll just show you without my graphics. There it is up here. Okay, and at one stage it was probably a lot larger. There's a lot of silt build up on the bottom part of this lake. Okay, on the western side. So this, it may have been like a figure eight. It could have been 2 lakes with silt in between, or just one large lake. Okay. We'll go back to here again. Where it says on here, it says Ava or bird. There is a condor type geoglyph on top of this little hill here. And I'll just go back in and I'll just show you exactly where that is. And where some of these other things in here are. Alright. So, let's have a look at this condor first. I'll bring it in. It's very difficult to make out. There's obviously a round circle there for a face. One wing going up here at 45 degrees. And another in the same direction. Very difficult to see, but as I sort of play around with this, you'll see there's a lot of other straight lines and possible faces of geoglyphs in this area as well. Okay. So, possible condor there. And as you can see, there's lots of things going on, faces, circles, you name it. So as we go over to here, here's the lake that I was talking about. As you can see, it's probably silted over on this part. It may have been a lot larger at some stage. Down here, it's difficult to say if that's natural or not. It could simply be silt, where a little stream runs into the lake, or it could have been some type of stone type wharf where they launched their boats into this lake. And it's not far from the Temple of the Sun. Alright, another one that's difficult to see. Not sure if you can see that square there in the middle of the screen. I think this is the temple complex, Temple of the Sun. It's on a slightly facing down angle. Okay, right at the top of this stream. But there's some type of building or structures under there. Okay, there's also something up here. And up here. It's difficult to say exactly what they are. But it has been cleared at one stage and there's regrowth. And of course, this being satellite imagery from so far away, it's difficult to actually see what's there. Okay, and if you have a look, it even has like a llama type shape to it. Okay. And the little stream from here runs down into this lake. Okay, so that's what I think is the Temple of the Sun regarding the Andres Lopez map. There's also an entryway over here, which is quite steep at the top of this stream flowing down the mountain. Initially when I first saw this, I thought this might be the Sun Gate. I personally think there's a couple of buildings at the top here and possibly some terracing as well. And this actually reminds me of a serpent's head. 2 eyes, head, and this is its body climbing up here. And there's actually another one down here too, which at one stage would have resembled a snake's head with 2 eyes and body coming down here. I guess this might be used as intimidation as people walk into this valley. as a way of scaring people off. Okay, so like I said, here's the geoglyph again, human, possibly a little lamb there, and there was a picture of a wife, but whether it was ever there, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's get back to my picture again. The city area. Let's have a bit of a closer look at that. And what could possibly be the Temple of the Moon. Just going to 3D just to give a bit of an idea of the slope. Okay, it's quite spectacular in this area. Down here there resembles like a llama type shape carved into this part of the mountain. I believe this could be in the terracing. Down here. With the city more up in this sort of area. Okay, this appears to be some type of ruins. And maybe if there is a Temple of the Moon up here, my bet would be this would probably be it right here. This is very unusual, some sort of circular pattern there. Now along the edge here, and I'll talk about geoglyphs later on in another part. From this cave, there appears to be a serpent coming out of it. You can see along here. Here's its eye, which could easily be some sort of building or temple. Going along here, there's a rider. Don't know whether that's human, monkey, or something else. Seems to be coming along for the ride on this serpent. Possibly a llama there as well. Whether there are buildings under here, rock walls, I don't know. Only LiDAR or somebody on the site would be able to confirm what's under there. But the buildings are going to be in this area, in my opinion. Okay, so it's well hidden from anybody travelling down this river. And I'll have a look around here. So if you're coming along this river here, you basically would not be able to see over this ridge onto the other side where the city is. So it's in a quite defensive area. And obviously they would see these people first and prepare to defend their city. I have no doubt there's many carvings into these walls. It might be like a little mini Mount Rushmore. Very difficult to say with all the vegetation on top. But it could be quite a spectacular sight going up into that cave and on top as well. Okay, so that's our city area there. We've covered the geoglyphs there. Condor geoglyph, Temple of the Sun, and the lake. Okay, in my next video, I'm going to discuss the evidence of the Blas Valera paintings, and I'll show you what part I believe where he stood and where he painted that. I'll show you the evidence for that. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.